Thanks so much, Mandy. And joining me now live is Jadine and Bobby Boone with Buds and Blossoms and Dothan Nurseries. And as always, thank y'all for being here this morning.
Thank you, Tanya. Morning. Good to be here.
I don't want to embarrass y'all, but I do want to mention that y'all were recently featured in a national magazine.
He was.
Okay, okay.
Well, it was me and my wife. It wasn't me.
Well, congrats. Tell us a little bit about that.
It was in Grower magazine, and I had a lady from Canada that's a professional writer, and she called us and wanted to do a little feature article on us, and she did. And of course, John David, we mentioned John David and what he does, and it's kind of a surprise and an honor, and so it was nice.
Absolutely. What an honor. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Okay, so anything we need to do to protect our fruit trees during this cold weather that we're experiencing?
Yes and no. 90% of the fruit trees, no. Apples, peaches, pears, plums, persimmons, pomegranate. I figured out the other day most fruit trees start with a P for some reason. But when I started naming them, they need the cold weather, and they need something that's called chill hours, and that's the amount of time the temperature is between 45 and 32 degrees, and to make fruit. And all these different trees have different numbers of chill hours. Some have 300 or 400, some have 800 or 900. And so yes, they need the cold, and that's a good thing. If you have citrus though, satsuma, kumquat, that kind of thing, you need to protect it when we get below freezing weather.
I didn't know that. So the cold weather is actually good for the fruit trees. Okay. All right. So can you prune fruit trees now then during the winter months?
Yeah, you prune them in the winter time, and theoretically you got this wild growth, and you cut it back so you have less blooms but bigger fruit. So if you have longer branches, you have more fruit, but they're smaller, so the reason you cut them back, you get a better shape, and also you get bigger fruit.
Okay, and should a person keep their irrigation on during the winter months as well?
You can, but you need to turn it way down. Mine's off at my house. I mean, there's just about no reason at all to even have it on. It's just, in my mind, it's a little bit of wasted money this time of year. Number one, because you don't need the water, and then number two, on the edge of that, you can have problems with if you have water running through your irrigation all the time. We get these freezes. That's when you get pipes busted, that kind of thing. But the big reason is you really don't need it. If we happen to go through a lot of dry weather, then turn it on for a week. But
don't really need to turn it on until springtime, right?
Not a whole lot.
Okay. And then lastly, can you prune a hydrangea or a camellia now this time?
Well, general rule of thumb, when a plant quits blooming, that's the time to prune it. So if you prune your camellias, the large ones like you see on Cherokees in the Isaiah district, they're budded up and getting ready to bloom on out in the spring, so I wouldn't prune them. Now, your Sasanqua, which is blooming now, which is a type of a camellia, it is blooming. As soon as it quits blooming, you can lightly prune it. Okay. But the big one that your grandmother had, that had the big fancy bloom, don't prune them right now.
Okay. Anything else y'all want to mention before we go this morning?
Just thank you for having us. We always enjoy being here.
Absolutely. And if I don't see y'all before, y'all have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Tom.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank you for your time. And stay with us. We're coming back in just a few moments.